I'm
toilet
gonna,
flushing
I'm gonna
sound.
get a soundboard on here. Soundboard.
You should get the
Right,
eternal
okay,
envy
I'm streaming as
soundboard.
well.
Oh yeah, this is terrible. Not gonna do that. Yeah, I want to have an intro music, but I'm gonna look for that next time. So,
we're not live
Intro music.
Senor, you can make an intro music next time, like 30 seconds, just an intro.
I mean, it'll just be me making noises, but I'll do it.
That's fine. I'm down. I'm down. So today we're gonna talk about Squadplay, and the guest this time is Senor Awesome. We have LAWLIET, and then the one and only Empire's professional player Reznov.
The only.
What are you talking about? We're none of us are pros. We don't get paid for this.
I think the Reznov is the only Empire pro we have. Here,
I'm
right?
not being paid for this.
Don't you get money from advertising
No.
for your
Not
stream?
really.
Yeah,
I think that kind of
Jeff
counts.
Bezos bucks, right?
Yeah, that kind of counts. So let's have maybe a little introduction, Senor.
Yeah, I'm Senor. I play mostly engineer. Been playing Empires 12 years ish, and I'm good at the game. Trust me.
It's an understatement of the century.
I think Senor is pretty much like the poor man's Nia. Pretty good, but like just not Nia level. But you want him on your team. Okay, LAWLIET.
Hi, I'm LAWLIET. I've been I guess I play Empires a lot, like a disgusting amount, and I've been playing since 2011. About when my childhood friend introduced me to the game, and then proceeded to not play the game with me. And that's how I became addicted to Empires.
Nice. And then our professional player Reznov. Does he need an introduction? We all know him. We all see him on the kill boards.
Well, I'm Reznov. I played since also 10 years, and I've pretty much played through all classes once.
I think honestly, you were one of the first people that like I remember just starting to play randomly, and then all of a sudden was just like really, really amazingly good at killing people. Maybe Joy as well. Like Joy started playing the game, and he was just instantly really amazing at the game. So that's Reznov, people. And then hello, I'm Barracks. I've been playing 10 years as well, on and off a little bit, and then with the COVID, I've been playing more. And today we're gonna have a podcast about Squadplay, which is, I think, probably one of the most important aspects of Empires and how it's played through. I think the topics today will be like the guest questions. Everyone prepared like a question, except maybe LAWLIET. He's gonna have to improv a question, and then we're gonna have an off-topic break for like 20 minutes. Everyone prepared a question for that as well, and then we can have some chat or Discord questions. I've got a ton of questions from Octay, I think, and Mayama, so we can go through those ones. Let's start off with like the first squad question. We can start with Senor his, I think. Wait, I have to.
Do you want me?
Wait a
Yeah, you can ask it. You probably still remember it.
I'll just start with that first one, which is all right. So squads, everybody knows all the squad abilities. For the most part, you have what you see in most rounds is squad revive and squad RD. Why isn't anybody using squad armor and squad damage?
No, that's
like what's up with that, guys? You wanna get on that shit?
Who wants to start?
I think for like I was thinking about this week because I was thinking of a question as well. And a lot of the like you have scouts and you have the engineer and grunts and rifleman abilities, but the only ones that get used a lot are engineers because it's just really, really a big hassle to cycle through giving squad lead. Like Reznov's telling me to give him squad lead, and it takes like 10 seconds, or maybe not 10, like 5 seconds. You have to go to your squad menu, select him, give him squad lead, and then he has to go back to the same thing after he's used it. And I think it's more important to have an engineer as a squad leader, because when there's like 3 people dead, you can squad off instantly, and you don't have to wait like the 3 seconds of Reznov as a grunt giving you lead. But I think squad damage, and charge on rifleman is so strong. I think charge is like 2 squad points, and you can just literally just pass a field instantly without getting killed. Because people don't expect you to be
Wait,
charged.
there's no way that is 2 squad points.
It
is
is
2
it's
squad
2.
points.
It is 2.
No
On
way.
it's
It is
2.
too,
Yeah, for reference, Rifleman has squad charge at 2 points and then squad armor at 4 points.
But I don't know the values of squad armor.
I
Squad
think it's
armor-
40, right?
No, it's only 20%, I believe.
But 20 is still a
you-
lot. Like if
For
you have
3
dig in and
points?
yeah, 2 points or 4 points for armor and 2 points for charge.
What is it now? 3 points for armor or 4?
Pretty sure it's 4. I could be talking about my butt,
Yeah,
but
but still 20% more armor just for, like, I don't know
Yeah.
how much, 30 seconds?
I mean, if you're in a squad fight and you press armor and damage in like 5 second span, you can just win against every squad or maybe even 2 squads if you want. But it's just so annoying that you have to give squad lead every time
Well,
you want to pass it.
I think it's more than that. I think the immediate payoff of the other squad abilities makes abilities like damage and armor like less, visually impactful. So even if it does have an impact, like nobody can really tell that you did something.
Yeah.
Just to add on to that, for squad damage, I thought I heard Smithy talk about what it actually affects and how it's not completely transparent, at least to me, what it actually affects. Like, does it affect vehicle damage as well? Does it affect specific rifles, or is something excluded? 'Cause I know something very specific is excluded from it, from what I recall.
Excluded?
So,
What do you mean?
honestly, I would think people use squad damage when they need to take down a Rex, but it's what, 4 points for squad damage and it's 5 points for squad arty. I personally would just prefer if you have the 5 points.
No, wait. It's not 4 points. I know that.
What?
It's 3 points, I think. And for 30
No,
seconds.
there's no. I'm pretty sure it's 4. Okay,
You guys
you know
wanna,
what? That
like,
that,
take
that
notes
really
and then
goes
come
to
back
show
to
you
us
how
later?
much we actually don't use it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nobody even knows how many points these things cost.
The fact is the duration for the damn skills is just too short to, like, pay off with it. If you want to use that skill, you need to continuously either attack or take damage with armor. Otherwise,
Yeah,
it
but
doesn't pay
that's
off.
like super. Like, let's say you're at M Valley, you're going up north with your squad. You kill 2 people and you instantly have charge, right? If you're even from a distance from that north hill, you press charge and you can go like up the hill 2 or 3 times faster than the rest because they just can't hit you when you're charged. It's just so hard to hit people when they're running that fast.
I actually think, especially now, it's actually completely irrelevant now. But back in the day, we used to use squad charge in scrims, at least, by reviving each other and farming the points on Cyclopean, and then we'd use squad charge or toss a lead to someone who can use squad charge.
At the
So
start,
your team, at the start, to get to northwest very fast.
Ooh.
So in the scrim, you can just see Nihia
Ooh,
and
that's-
Zion
yeah.
suiciding and reviving each other.
Yeah, but that
and then they
involves a
toss
glitch,
lead
doesn't
to-
it?
dude, that's like the next level V formation.
Well, no, but the problem is that you can't do that anymore. So
Yeah, you can't. So I feel like squad charge isn't really used because it's more for getting in position, right?
But
Or
you
getting
could
to
do
a
it.
place
You
really
can do it
fast.
in another way. Like I build a wall. Like I'm running in front. I build a wall, and then the engineer behind me just repairs it, and he gets like 2 points, and then you can charge, and your rifleman will be up, or the grands that are up front will be much faster at
I
the
don't
position.
think the point. Wait, how does the point value exactly work? Because I don't know. I'm
You
pretty sure it's
repair
really slow.
200 points or something.
No. It's really slow to farm points though with walls. I mean, we tried it one game after it was patched. At least after healing was patched out.
It would make
to,
sense if
you know,
only
try to
one
survive
engineer
sudden death.
repaired the wall, because then you can get the point through that engineer. If
So only
several
one
engineers
engie touched
repair
the
it,
wall.
yeah, if several engineers repair the same wall, it wouldn't work, I think.
No, you have to like. So let's say you put the commander in your squad and make him squad lead just for a second. After you start the game, he can't really place buildings anyway. You're still waiting. He places the walls for another engineer squad to build it. He builds it up, and then you get like 2 squad points, and you can charge. I think it still makes up the time, but I don't know how fast it goes to get like 1 squad point from repairing a wall.
it's such a ridiculous play. Like nobody would ever do
Yeah.
that.
But you got to think about these things as like options, because honestly, at some point when vehicles come out, squad charge is completely useless. You can just get to somewhere you need to go with a jeep versus
Yeah,
using
exactly.
squad charge.
I feel like squad charge is fucking useless as soon as you have choke points established, like battlefronts. Because then you can't actually push with charge anymore because you either die to turrets or the people that defend the point.
Yeah, it's useful for
That's true.
getting to places. It's not so useful once you're there. Like it's pretty useless actually.
So
At
it's probably
least
pretty
now.
much in the first 15 minutes, or maybe the first 10 minutes. It's pretty good, I think, if you want to cover a lot of ground. Because let's say you take a corner position, you're on Cyclopean, you start southwest, you take northwest, you take the position, and then all of a sudden you have this, like these 2 minutes where you don't have to do anything because it takes a lot of time to walk to northeast. But instead, you can just use charge, and all of a sudden you're at their main base way faster than you would be, I think.
Yeah, I mean getting to places. Let's talk a little bit about that damage thing though. Does that affect seismic grenades at all? Because if I have a choice between using a squad arty versus like I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
my
that's a good
squad
point.
mates, like four point or whatever amount of points for squad damage versus squad arty, I will use the squad arty over that. Unless I don't have a Gren, but like you kind of need the Gren to use it anyways.
Can we page Mr. Smithy in here? Is that a thing we can do?
Good. We just need to ask him over
I
Discord.
think we got to move on from this question though.
Yeah,
mean,
like I think further
spending too
research
long.
required.
Okay, more research. Everyone, do your homework for next week.
play the game, guys.
Yeah, play the game. What are you like?
LAWLIET, do you have a question yet
For what?
for the team of this evening? You had to prepare one question.
No, let's keep going with the questions, dude. I'll carry the conversation.
Okay then, Raznav, you can ask yours.
Right. So my question was for you guys: what squad power do you prefer for infantry and vehicle combat?
Is that like two-part?
Yeah,
I think
it's a
that's
two-part question.
Yeah. Lolly, you start.
Okay, so if I'm in a vehicle, I obviously want to be Gren squad leader, because some people, for some reason, they like to stay still. So when you kill them with squad array in your vehicle and they don't expect it, it's extremely satisfying. If I'm infantry, I would actually just prefer being NG lead or something along those lines. Depends on the map specifically, but mostly NG for squad heal.
How much plates does it take away if you squad array your tank? Like,
Depends.
let's say for reflective.
The angle you hit. It's completely based on the angle that the squad array comes from.
It also depends on whether the arty hits the actual side of the tank or whether the ground next to the tanks or it hits the top, because if it hits the top, you lose some damage.
Let's say it just hits straight up, like on the side. It's straight up on the side. Is it like, because I sometimes see Reznov doing that, or Octane, and it just instantly kills the tank every fucking time.
It should take all the plates off.
That depends. If you use, what was it called, deflective, you get the biggest damage out of squad arty, because deflective does not work as good if the angle the damage comes from is not anywhere near, like, I don't know, a horizontal degree, I think. If it's vertical, it might do full damage all the time. I could be wrong.
I thought I tried, vertically damaging a tank that had deflective, right? Like a few weeks ago. It was really weird. Like the damage was pretty bad. Like let's say I'm higher than you, right? Like there's a clear height difference, and I hit you with an RPG and I home it down. It doesn't do as much damage versus like if I was level with your tank or something like that.
So it's perpendicular. Yeah.
It's weird. Short.
I had deflective on a medium, like 4 plates, and someone squad arty'd my tank, and I lost like 3 plates immediately, and I didn't notice like in like 2 seconds.
But is it only with deflective, or let's say you have absorbent? Does it also take the?
I don't think Abso has a modifier on it for deflective or reflective modifier, whatever it's called.
So with absorbent, you can just squad it in it, and you'll do full damage, unless it hits the top.
Usually, when I squad arty someone, at least all the plates are going to be gone. They're going to be like green or maybe even yellow if I'm lucky. Yeah. And then you try to finish them off, but you have to really hope they get greedy and you squad arty them.
Oh, Smitty commented, it's for damage, for squad leader damage power on Gren. It's 20 more damage on infantry and 10% more when you have the vehicles. For infantry, it's quite a lot, right? 20 is a lot.
20% damage is a lot. Like you already kill people in like a second with like SMG1. So
how much damage is the mortar? Because I assume if you had like 3 grenadiers in your squad and you use squad damage, it would do a lot of damage to buildings.
Oh yeah, dude, the
it's only
3
bullets.
Gren squad
It's only
is...
bullets. It's only bullets. Smitty says.
It's only bullets? Ah, for fuck.
Yeah, that's why I think he mentioned to me like a month ago or something. It was interesting.
Huh.
But it would actually be so broken if you had like 3 Grens in your squad.
Have squad damage work.
Actually, if you want to really win games and you're extremely confident in your engineers, like the 2 NGs in your squad, if you do a 3-man Gren squad, it's you can pretty much hit buildings from almost anywhere if you're good enough.
Yeah, I agree. Like a lot of the times now, I'd ask my team to go like 2 NGs, 3 offensive classes. I think we've been doing that more and more the last weeks. Before we would always do like 3 NGs and 2 offensive, but I think we've changed more to like repair, upgrade, start, and then change to 2 revive NGs and 3 offensive classes. But I
think
don't
the
know if it's
NGs
better.
a requirement is honestly, at least from what I've witnessed, it's the NGs have to be really good. Like they have to be very close to not making any mistakes. Because if you have 2 NGs and both those NGs die, it's pretty much over for your squad.
If you see Nihia in your squad, you can probably just go on the offense and have Nihia be always on your arse. And when you die, he places a wall in front of you and immediately revives you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so before we get way too far away from it, the abilities question. My tactic is if I'm fighting even ground on a front with the other team, I usually will be engineering using squad heals like super aggressively.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I'm having to play from like a not advantageous position, then it's time to save up the points for squad RD to break through whenever we have like 20, 25 points. But I'm usually crazy with the squad heals, go nuts.
What about vehicles?
For vehicle, I honestly don't think about squad abilities that much, honestly. Aside from squad already, like just to help take down buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if we're talking about in vehicles, when you're the squad leader, what's the percentage of the time you're actually an engineer or a grunt, like comparison-wise? I think about 30% of the time I'm an engineer in a tank, and otherwise like 70% when I'm actually having tank fights is grunt. Like, what about you guys? Do you ever go engineer in a tank or not really?
I'm 80% engineer in tank, 20% grunt.
Well, if you
that's
look
not
at
true.
the stats, if you look at the stats, I pretty much die to mines all the time, so I'm clearly an engineer.
I would actually. I was
Senor,
I want to amend my stats. It's actually 80% engineer, 15% grind, and then 5% rifleman with vehicle damage because I hate other people.
That adds up to 135%. I'm so confused.
Yeah, that doesn't work at all.
The math doesn't add up, guys.
No, it does add up. 80, 15, 5, right?
Oh, I thought you said 50. I was like, what?
No, yeah, 50. I thought you said 50 as well.
50%. Yeah, no, definitely not.
The problem is I do that as well. Like I'm like, oh, I want to go rifleman to kill these tanks because it's so fucking annoying, and then I just keep dying as a rifleman in the tank.
I actually feel like now, at least, or at least I see this a lot less. There's a lot less sticky bomb kills, right?
Yeah, that's horrible. I think that's horrible.
It takes time to get those sticky bombs on. You have to hope someone stays still. I think players are just more aware.
Yeah,
Stickies don't do a lot of damage anymore. I think like sometimes
they do. I'm pretty sure they're
in the past you like put one sticky on it and you're like, okay, this tank might die or might not die.
If it's like a paper tank or like an Abzo tank, maybe it'll die. But if it's like any other armor, it'll be like flashing probably or side exposed.
Okay. I think we've answered that question pretty much. So it's like mainly Gren and NG, I think. I've got a question I was thinking about this week a lot about squad leaders. And it's a bit about that it's really fucking annoying to pass squad lead. It takes so much time. What do you guys think about the idea of letting everyone in the squad use squad powers?
Oh heck no, dude.
Those are my points. I want to buy a toaster. Those are my points. Don't use them.
Why should everyone be able to use the squad powers?
Because it's really effective if you could like just pass lead really fast to like Senor to use charge and then to Reznov for grand power. And now it just takes so much time that you're like, oh, it doesn't work.
I mean, if you have to click through the C menu
when you're in fighting.
I think honestly, I would give a better implementation of it. It's more numerical binds or something, where
that's
you
fine,
are in the
but-
Yeah,
squad
that'd
is
be
your
nice.
position, programmatically speaking. Like it starts from 0.
You know
down
what
to
problems
position
I have
3 or
with the
4.
fucking C menu? I open it up, I select Paradox, for example, and I have him selected. Then I only have to open it up again and then click one button. However, it doesn't fucking work because I'm so fast with my clicking that when I open up the menu and click it and close it again, it doesn't work. Sometimes
the
it just
button
doesn't
doesn't
take
register.
it.
Jesus.
The button, yeah, it's sometimes
Yeah.
the button doesn't register. It's pretty bad.
Okay, and let's say we have like less powers, because Zaya is having a good point, right? Squad powers are so like OP. Like if you think about it, squad already revive is just super strong. But let's say we go to a system where squad powers aren't that strong, and that you can use like the squad powers as an individual member. Would that not be like more fun, at least, or like more used then? Because right now,
Uh,
how many good squads are there that really use squad points? Like if you join any other squads than a pro squad, you barely use them at all, I think.
which is it's not a
Uh,
bad thing. It's just
I don't think
squad
they're
points
being barely used.
at least from what I understand, you're rewarded more earlier in the game if you use your squad points. It seems. Later on in the game, it may not. The game probably doesn't come down to squad points unless it's sudden death or some scenario like that. So that's the reason why I say it's not necessarily bad that you don't use squad points, because if you end up in that late game scenario where you need to do squad revives, you at least have a squad that has that.
Yeah, but why
capability.
would you prepare for a late game when you can play in it now? Why would you ever, all the time go like, okay, let's have a squad that's not using squad points, because 10% of the games we go to like 70 minutes without tickets.
I mean, sometimes it's just that shit happens. Like M Valley, remember? I mean, it just happens. You don't really know how to end the game correctly, or maybe your commander just doesn't research the right stuff. Like there are specific timings in the game where researching already would be a wonderful idea, but then let's say you lose the map or something, or you lose some map control, then researching already is a terrible idea. And some commanders just don't know how to read the game, or some teams just don't know how to close out games. I think that's a very big problem in Empires right now, where teams really they don't know how to properly close out games.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that why don't we just like squads don't use squad points enough, I think. Like if you would join a random squad, like just Alpha Squad or Bravo Squad with random people, they just never use them at all.
Yeah,
It's
that's actually
such a
true.
waste to just have them there, I think. Because maybe some games would end if you have like an Alpha Squad with 50 points and they use squad already in the middle of the game would just be over. Saving them just to squad revive after 60 minutes is
I don't think they realize it. Like they're probably like totally tunnel visioned in the game.
Also, I don't think that it's going to change if you give everyone the ability to. Like, if no one's going to use it, why should the one member in Alpha, for example, use it?
What do you mean? Like if everyone has squad powers, like you can use every player is going to use them.
If the leader is not
it's going to be
using
more.
it, and the members are not telling him to use them, why would the squad themselves use the power if they had the ability to?
No, but it would be different powers, right? I would not say like the same powers. It would not be like every engineer has revive. That'd be fucking insane. But
Then
like,
I don't get it though. Then what's the point of
different
squad
powers.
aura? Like squad aura is actually pretty great.
I actually would like to see more squad aura shenanigans, if anything. Like, I think half the squad abilities right now are just too weak to care about, and the squad auras don't come into play that much.
That's true.
That's true. Playing in a squad doesn't really get for like the average Empires players.
And there's one exception.
We're talking like elite squads right now. It's not really representable. But if you're talking like the average Empires players, like squad abilities and just the synergy of having a good squad doesn't come to play as much as if you're in an elite squad, right?
You know, squad auras, talking about that, there is one aura that has been used lately, and that's what was it, squad speed,
where squad you have speed, V formation, boys.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. That one has been seen a lot of.
You want to explain V formation?
So V formation is a concept that we took from birds flying in the sky that fly in a V formation for aerodynamic drag. And if you walk at the start, you spawn at base and you have to go northwest or southeast or wherever. It's just much faster if you have a scout as a squad lead, because you get like a 10% boost on stamina recharge. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah, so you get more stamina, so you can sprint more. So you get there faster. Zaya is just like face palming again. You just get there faster. I don't know if it's just the speed upgrade or just like a stam upgrade. But you get there faster. You can place a racks faster. You can build it up, and then you can also get closer to the enemy position to kill their racks the moment the commander drops it. And it's just such a big advantage when you get to positions faster. And V formation is just that. You start with 1 scout, 4 engineers with speed upgrade. You build your racks, and then everyone switches, right? And then you have your position much faster. You can have your racks up faster. You can push faster. So that's V formation, and I mean the last 2-3 months has been used much more. But I'm not sure if it's actually better than, like, let's say, repair upgrade. What will go up faster? Racks with repair upgrade or 4 speed engineers that get there faster? I'm not sure. Thoughts and ideas?
There's more speed engineers.
I
Definitely.
think it depends on what you're up against. Let's say you're up against 3 Grens, you automatically lose that lane. I hate to say it. They have speed upgrade as Grens. Let's say you're going to Northwest on Cyclo. I know we keep killing this example. And I guess you get there faster because you have 4 NGs with speed upgrade or something using Scout Speed Leader. Those 3 Grens are pretty much, if they're smart enough, they're going to kill that Rax instantly. You don't. It's like having the equivalent of what 2 repair NGs on the Rax.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, the mortars are actually. I really do believe mortar is pretty broken, especially when it comes to range early on.
Yeah.
But
Okay,
it's not really
I
abused.
think you're pretty much right about getting the racks down with the Grens. It's going to be faster. But after you take the racks down, you still have like 3 Grens in your squad, and then 2 whatever engineers behind. You're not gonna always hold the position, because if your Grens die, there's no revive engineers close by, because you probably have 2 repair engineers in the back building a ref and whatnot. So if you lose your Grens, you just lose your position and it's over.
Also, 4 speed engineers is not really safe either, because if a scout is present and you're in an open area, you might lose 1 or 2 to scout.
Yeah.
I
If you
usually
have a joy,
go
it's
revive
fucking
sometimes
over.
at start. Yeah. So according to the wiki, the squad auras are for scouts an additional 33% stamina regen rate, for riflemen additional 20% accuracy, for Gren additional 10% weapon damage, and for engineer 2 HP every 2 seconds health regen.
20% accuracy sounds really shitty, honestly. Does anyone ever use that? 20% accuracy as a rifleman?
I've never
I don't
noticed
think you would
rifle
notice
aura.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so not impactful at all.
You tell that to the scouts that keep killing me. You know the
Is the
ones.
wiki outdated? Yeah.
I mean, the wiki's definitely outdated, but like I spotted some of the squad leader skills, like the points are wrong, but I'm pretty sure that the squad auras haven't changed in a long time.
Well, 33% is pretty a lot. Like
Yeah,
it makes a
pretty good.
difference, definitely.
Doesn't Scout naturally as a class move faster?
No.
No, don't they use less stamina or something for jumping? When they get stamina upgrade, it's like times 4 or something like that. Smithy said
No.
that once.
No, there's no way Smithy said that. I don't want to misquote Smithy here either.
Yeah, my must is it is. Like scouts with stamina upgrade get like
I think Scout has more stamina
higher
and that's
stamina
it.
regen, yeah.
Like base stamina.
Wait, are they in game?
They're on the stream.
Where? On Twitch?
But
You're
chat,
crazy.
yeah.
You're a
Dude, I
lunatic.
did not see them on chat here.
Seriously?
Are we not doing the same thing? Why are you here?
I'm watching Resnov time. They're not on chat, are they?
No, yeah. Oh my god, you have to check my Twitch chat. LAWLIET.
Oh, it's on your Twitch?
Yeah,
there's 2 streams
chatting
running.
Why are 2 people streaming the podcast? What's wrong with you?
because we're trying to make money here. God.
Dude, you're not
No,
gonna get
just
he's
Twitch
trying to make money.
sponsorship,
I'm not.
You would have to
Double the
like
sponsors.
you'd have to like email Jeff at like Amazon.com or
Wait,
something. You know,
LAWLIET,
ask him
quickly,
about
Oh,
it.
what's your
we have like an
protein
ad break
cookie?
in 5 minutes.
I actually ate my protein cookie while you guys were talking. Okay.
No, who created it? Who's the creator?
It's
Make an
Lenny
ad
and
quickly.
Larry. Lenny and Larry.
Thanks our sponsors, Lenny and Larry.
No, the sponsor this week is Surfshark. It's a online VPN. You get like
Hopefully.
30% off when you use my code. Okay, let's
actually used
go
to
to
Shark.
let's go to the next question. We're fucking around a bit. I just want everyone's opinion on like the best squad formation. Like, is it 2 NGs and then 2 Grens and a rifle? Is it 2 NGs and 3 Grens? And you can also like divert a bit with, let's say you're on Dust Storm compared to Streets of Fire or whatever. What would you say is like the best early game squad and then the best, let's say, late game squad then? Let's start with Reznov maybe. What do you think?
So you mean squad compositions in early and late game?
Yeah, and then maybe like also you can divert a bit into if it's a particular map, you would an open map or a closed map, you would go this or that.
Ooh, that's a difficult question. Well, it depends. I don't think too much about the composition itself, but rather what I'm going to encounter. For example, if I see that my squad has 5 engineers and I know that we're lacking offensive capabilities, I check the map for possibilities what could happen. For example, if you have, let's say, Cyclopean, you start northeast and you want to go northwest and you have 5 engineers, and you would think to yourself, okay, we need some grenadier or rifleman. What would be the best choice? And if you go from northeast to northwest and you go uphill, for example, your only choices would have to be either rifleman or scout. So you can try to take out the other squad, the enemy squad, from far, so they cannot like advance and build any structures themselves. I don't know. It really depends. It's
Okay,
just...
I think Cyclopean is like we're using Cyclopean as like the example map, but that's a really bad example map. I feel like maybe
Why?
let's talk like mid-bridge then. Maybe let's say you're on mid-bridge.
Yeah.
What would your best composition be for a squad after you build your first racks? Let's
Are
start
you
with
going uphill or downhill?
Yeah, that's also
You could-
really important.
Oh God, guys, choose.
Okay, here let me break
Look,
it into
I'm
two
gonna just do.
categories.
I'm gonna do a basic squad composition. I would always go 2 engineers, 1 with a revive, 1 with repair upgrade in the beginning, and then switch it over to 2 revive, and then they get their perks afterwards, so they can have both. And for offensive classes, I would always take 2 grenadiers and 1 rifleman, because grenadiers can take out the early barracks, and once the tanks are rolling out, I would also have them attack the tanks themselves. And rifleman is
Okay.
obvious because you want to take out the enemy squads.
Yeah.
That's my
LAWLIET?
For me, if I want to guarantee that I at least hold the lane, I think 3 NGs and then 2 offensive classes. This can either be Scout, Rifleman, or Gren. Honestly, it depends because I don't see that many Grens anymore. So most people go Rifleman early and then they switch to Gren later on in the game. But I think there's an advantage to be had if you have 1 Gren, 1 Rifleman, and they're both pretty good.
Are you saying you would rather have more Grens?
I
early
would
on,
prefer
or-
to have a Gren. However, if I don't have players that play Gren, a 2 Rifleman would be fine.
Okay. And then Senor?
So I don't think there is an answer to this question necessarily because every scenario is actually very different.
Yeah.
But I would say usually I'm talking at least 2 engineers, and then at most 1 scout, and then Grin plus rifleman. Like the scout is super good start of the game if you have somebody that's actually like if you have clear sight lines on the map.
Yeah.
And if you have like a Joy or a Reznov or Neoni. Otherwise it's
Sure.
kind of useless, right?
But like riflemen can also fill the same role, which is just killing the enemy's engineers before they get to the barracks. Like that's so effective when you're doing like
Yeah.
a standard position that both teams are going to contest by trying to put a barracks there. But then you have so many other scenarios like mid bridge, you're doing the middle refs or
Yeah, but
everything like that.
I think we're talking more like the standard lanes, northwest, southeast, like those things. Just a standard head-to-head combat.
If you're going downhill, right, it's extremely hard as Gren, at least to be very exact, trying to hit an enemy going uphill. I always try to abuse that if I'm against a Gren
sure?
solo or something.
I think it's like both ways it's difficult to hit as Gren, uphill and downhill.
Oh yeah, definitely, I agree. So just in general, maybe Gren on mid bridge, depending on the terrain, it's not advantageous. So yeah, I don't really see that many Grens on Dust Storm either in middle, because it's actually really hard to hit around those hills.
Yeah, that's true. Duststorm is like middle Duststorm is an entire different story, I think.
Yeah, just hilly terrain in general is not really good for Grens at all.
Yeah.
So
let's
I would
let's
still recommend.
swap the question a little bit out, or just change it a bit. Let's say just an average. Let's say you're a commander and you have like an average squad. You're like, okay, we're not sure if this is gonna hold the lane, if this is gonna win. Just an average squad, no elite players in it. And they ask you like, what do we go? What would you tell them?
Play NG, stay alive.
5 NGs?
I would be okay with 4 NGs, 1 rifleman.
For real?
Same. I 4 NGs and a grin probably for me.
You
but
just have to at least hold the lane. That's pretty much it. While the other squads try to win the map.
Okay, but like, how many elite? There's only like one, at most 1.5 elite squads in every game, right?
Yeah, you have to hope that the other squad does some shenanigans and redirects attention around the map, so that way eventually you can push your lane and win.
But you would like, okay, then it's like you're on mid bridge. You would tell 2 squads to, let's go say southeast, and then your elite squad northwest, and the 2 squads southeast would just almost all be NGs, or not. Like that's what you're saying, no?
I mean, your buildings aren't going to die, are they?
I mean, is
Yeah,
that
they
not
can just-
effective?
I don't think that's effective at all. If your NGs are just gonna get owned by, if that enemy team has riflemen, just like average riflemen, you're just gonna lose your position. They just enter your racks, kill the repairing NGs, and it's just over.
I think,
Then you
well, but the question is, like, you know, a squad that doesn't really have elite players at all, like a bunch of scrubs. No offense, guys, if you are a scrub. Honestly, I'm okay with just, you know, playing conservative. You know, playing very defensive, especially if you're holding a high ground or something. It's,
You know what I
you
think?
don't have to win the lane.
I think
think-
it's better to have like 2 or 3 riflemen, honestly.
Why won't
I
you
mean,
just
you should
like if you have an average squad or whoever is the weaker squad, why won't you send them to a position that they can easily defend and they have a better advantage on? Like if you have a
You don't-
professional squad, you just send them to the one place where it's either difficult or average to push through, and have the weaker squads defend a position where you have several walls or a choke point where you can easily fend off any attacker.
Yeah, but that's real. I think it's really difficult to defend a position if you have 4 average engineers compared to, or 5 average engineers compared to like 2 average engineers and 3 average riflemen. 3 average
You do
riflemen
a
can hold a
4-1 or
position,
you
I
do like
think.
2.
What did you
So-
say, LAWLIET?
You do like a 4-1, 4 NGs, 1 pretty okay player at some class, or you do a 3-2, so 3 NGs, 2 offensive classes.
I think 3-2 or 2-3 would be pretty good.
I honestly, if I need to hold a lane, 3-2. If I want to stomp, and I'm pretty confident we'll stomp a lane, 2-3.
Or you build turrets.
Yeah, turrets is pretty fine as well.
I honestly believe commanders that place turrets super early and don't save up for radar are pretty much killing their team's like chances of winning the game.
Really?
I've seen this a lot. Armories I'm okay with, especially if you know you actually need the armory. But turrets, especially with the price they are now, it's you're throwing the game if you're placing turrets very early as commander. Like I'm talking first like 10 minutes before radar.
Yeah, okay. I can see that. Would you rather have an early radar or a position held?
Do I have to pick? Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Because let's say you place turrets and you can hold a position, or you can have a radar and not have held a position and you're defending main base.
I'd rather have the position. Because
Rather have the
at
position.
least
So then you
from
have
what
to
I've
build
seen,
turrets, right?
at least from what I've seen, especially with holding a position, you will get ahead on research if you're, you know, slightly ahead on the map control.
Yeah.
And you have to account for how bad the other commander is. Some commanders just forget to research.
Okay. That's interesting.
I think the one thing that is you got to remember is that teams are actually very reactionary. Like if you ever been playing, you notice like, hey, why is both teams, like all the players are in Northwest for some reason? It's because that just happens to be where all the players are. Then it's kind of you get a critical mass. And from the commander perspective, what it looks like is, oh no, I've got a light tank in East and then the rest of the team in West. But good luck trying to call a squad back because it's all reactionary, and that means that the squads are not in their lanes. They're just you have 3 people from Delta in Northwest and 2 people in Middle, and it's chaos, but it usually sorts itself out, and then you go back to normal lanes. So like, you have flashpoints like that, I guess.
Yeah. Let's talk a bit more about average squads, because I think it's pretty an interesting topic to do. Because there's actually not too many elite squads playing at a time. How would you say you would make an average squad as useful as possible without them being like fucking bored out of their minds because you're just telling them to build shit? Would you tell them to get in tanks? Would you tell them to hit and run or just hold positions? What's like the ideal play for like an average squad for you?
I would actually pair them with a good squad leader. Like I try to do this with a lot of the other players, like Bill Nye and stuff, where I'll try to lead the squad at least because I don't want to play in like an elite squad. Sometimes it's actually pretty tunnel visiony for me if I play in chat squad or something like that. I'll try to lead another squad, or at least try to make sure someone is leading every squad. So that way you can actually coordinate people pretty well. We did it on Ward last weekend. Actually, it worked out really well.
With pro squad leaders leading average squads, you mean?
Or just experienced players with mics leading the squads. Especially stuff like I was taking a Jeep around or an APC around and just being very annoying.
Okay.
Stuff like that. You actually want to get players involved, so you want to get them to spawn places.
I
If
also
your
think
squad gets
voiced
wiped,
squad
you tell
leaders
them
are
to
really
spawn.
important.
Okay, let's bounce the question to Senor. What do you think about how to get an average squad to be as useful as possible? What do they do? What role do they have?
I mean, I think the true only difference between an average squad and a great squad is whether they have effective squad leadership, and that means either somebody with a mic or somebody who's willing to use the squad abilities and point out targets, and that is literally the only difference. Like, that's just, you have either a collection of players or you have a squad.
I mean, I kind of disagree there because like there's a very big difference between having like a Reznov and a Joy as your offensive players. You can take every position like that, but let's say
I don't necessarily agree with that.
I disagree as well.
The reason I disagree, at least from what I've seen, it's no offense, Reznov, if I insult you here, but I'm pretty sure players will play to their max of their ability that their squad leaders or at least NGs in their squad enable them to. If Reznov's playing with, like, let's say complete scrubs that are NGs and they don't place walls, Reznov's gonna die, obviously. No offense, Reznov.
How the fuck does that? Whatever.
But yeah,
It's not
isn't
even
that my
offensive
point?
to me.
Like if you
It's
have
offensive to the
an average
engineers.
squad, they're not gonna be able to synergize with Reznov and make him shine. Is my point.
Yeah, but players are just gonna shine to how good the players around them are. I mean that's your habit.
You guys are. That's true, but however, if the squad leader does not like follow the commander's orders or do anything useful for the team, then it's also for nothing, right?
Sometimes the commander's wrong. I hate to say it. The commander's wrong. Most of the time.
Okay, well, wait, that's another debate. That's another like completely other debate, guys. I think I have a follow-up question for that. Let's say you have like your Chad squad. Would you rather have a Chad squad or would you have the people in Chad squad leading 4 other squads? What do you think would be winning? Like you have 2 completely exact same squads, like 4 Reznovs on each team. Would you rather have them leading 4 other squads or all be in the same squad?
Leading the squads, definitely.
Why don't we do that?
Because it's less fun for us.
Okay, that's a good point. But okay, I actually really don't know because I really think if you have like 5 elite players in one squad, the synergistic effects are so big. But I think there's also like after you get like 3 or 4 in the same squad, it kind of falls off maybe the synergy. But having a solo elite player in one squad, I think you have to have like 2.5 elite players in one squad to synergize at least a little bit. Because otherwise, it's just wasted talent. I feel like.
There's hidden synergy that players don't really recognize. At least for me, like I play well with Bill 9, people like that, and I wouldn't have realized until I looked at like.
Yeah, me too. I also like to play with Liquid and.
Like our squad would be top of the scoreboard, but I guess we're just all average players, right? And it actually says a lot about that like role of squad leader, or at least like manager of like 4 to 5 people.
Yeah, because I mean, it's really just a matter of direction and being able to use abilities. Like the squads are, you underestimate the average Empires player, I think.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like the average Empire player has gotten much better, honestly. But if you would join like Alpha Squad, because mostly Alpha Squad are like the newbie squads, it's really hard to make them play together. I've tried it like in the past, trying to lead like noob squads just to like teach them how to play in a squad. It's so difficult and frustrating to lead them, and it doesn't always work. If you have like average players, it kind of works, but like the minute they're like a bit new, it just falls apart, and you feel like you're wasting your time and effort and winning the game when you can just join a better squad and have more
Well,
impact.
maybe you feel that way because you play in Chat Squad, but I definitely feel the opposite. I mean, sometimes it does kind of feel like, when you're losing, especially if you're in an average squad, like you kind of feel like garbage. But you kind of in Empires, you kind of just have to suck it up and pull yourself up by your bootstraps and just do the things that you have to do around the map.
Okay, interesting.
I feel like an average squad is like better if everyone wants to listen. If they don't want to listen, you don't have a like chance to organize or coordinate any of them.
Yeah, but if you have that problem, then I think no reorganization of the squad is going to matter.
Unless you want to play Lemmings.
The lane's lost if your people don't listen.
All right. Do any of you have follow-up questions? Because we've been talking like 45 minutes now. Or do we go for like the off-topic break for a bit? This has been a pretty good discussion, honestly.
I mean, I'll go a little off script. We talked a bit about V formation and having a scout squad leader. Why won't you let me do that?
Have you be scout?
Yeah, let me be scout at the start of the game.
I mean, if I have Reznov and Joy or Joy in my squad, I'd rather have them being scout because they actually kill people when we get there.
No, but okay, think about this, right? What if when we get there, and hear me out, what if they're blind because of concussions?
You're a disgusting human being.
Yeah, I didn't want to answer that at all. Even you're not gonna blind anyone. You're just gonna throw nades in the air and
I'll be honest.
blind.
Concussions are if they actually take off, like they become mainstream. I think concussions are extremely broken.
Conks are just too weak. They're not like
Oh,
CS:GO.
no. It depends on it. You have to be like in a weird choke point situation or like squad versus squad. If an enemy throws a concussion at you, I remember Zion completely wiped our squad with concussions. It was insane.
Yeah, you don't get hit markers if you blind the enemy. It doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, so you just have to pretty much guess that.
You have no clue if you're gonna hit your conk or not. In CS:GO, or in CS, if you throw your flashbang, it's kind of in that direction. You know it's gonna work. In Empires, you just have no fucking clue if it worked or not, and then you're just running at them and they're shooting you in the face, and you're like, oh, it didn't work. I don't know.
Like,
Conks are just weak in Empires.
It's not even worth for level 3 turret farms or anything like it, because you either have a grenadier that shoots them from afar, so you don't have to run up to them and sabotage them. Otherwise, you're just in complete danger all the time, because you might run out of concussion grenades and you're fucked.
So what about this? Like, turret spam is very common these days. What about a scout in second seat of the tank to stun the ML turrets while you use HE to take them down?
Dude, you're never gonna hit your conk on a turret if you're in a tank.
If the tank's like, there's some weird shit, or like if you move your if the tank driver moves their barrel or whatever, like things get off. That's why I don't feel confident about stunning people if I'm in second seat.
I just feel like conks should be,
You just really want to play scout and throw conks.
I don't know.
Dude, you can join whatever squad you want tonight and just throw conks all night long if you want. Really.
Senor, all I want to say is that concussion grenades area of effect is not big enough for that to be like successful.
Yeah, they're more EMP-ish, right, and bigger AOE. It could really help during rushes, or taking out turret. Really
exactly.
fast.
I think LAWLIET is right. If the AOE is larger and it's like more reliable to hit, it'd be better.
Why would it be good for rushes? The ML turrets fire immediately when they see you.
Right.
Yeah, you just throw the concussions all over the place. Like you throw as fast as possible, and then you hope you hit every ML turret. Because the splash would be large ideally.
Yeah.
I feel like the problem, like I've seen actually on games of Chain in particular, like I've seen conks being used on turrets, but they're not, their area of effect, like you said, is not wide enough for it to actually matter, and that makes me really sad.
I think we should appeal to Smitty to increase conks. He'd be open to that. Is he here?
He was listening earlier, but
Okay, let's go to a real off-topic question. I think Senor had a really good one. Which one was it again? Let me open it again.
it was what's the longest time that you guys have quit Empires, the game, like just stopped playing altogether, and why'd you do it?
Reznov, you want to start? Reznov?
He never really quit, did he?
Give me a sec. Someone
Probably
needs to
thinking
start.
The
like-
whole time.
Thinking back to his entire timeline, it's like I've never really quit this game. I would stop playing.
Because I'll answer first. I quit twice.
Twice?
Once for a year so I could focus on studies, and then the second time because of dev changes that I didn't like.
Wait, what were the dev changes?
It involves something that I don't think needs to be discussed on the podcast, but it's somebody was added to the dev team that should never have been on the dev team.
Oh,
And
Are you talking about Catface?
It is Catface related, yeah.
That was kind of obvious, I think.
Sorry,
It
I
was
was
really
echoing.
But it was like 4 months. That lasted about 4 months, and I think the population crashed so hard, and then it fixed itself.
How long did you stop playing then?
Total like a year plus 4 months. Really,
That's
like
not that long.
I've played exclusively like pub games when I first started playing, so like all the scrim stuff I pretty much missed. Because I was super young, and it's just been playing the pub games like for years and years when the population was garbage, because I don't know, I just can't stop playing this game.
Wait, can I ask how old you are now?
27.
That's not that young. Like I'm 26 and
I was 14 or 15 when I first played.
I mean, when you were like 18, 19, there were still scrims. I remember being in scrims when I was like 18, 19.
Yeah, but I don't know. I wasn't involved.
Were you playing Scout back then?
I've only played actually about I would probably say 10 hours of Scout total out of my 3,000 plus hours in the game, because I can't use the sniper rifle at all. I can't figure it out.
Practice on bots, dude. Those weird
Reznov,
movements.
did you quit?
Yeah, I did quit quite a few times. Every time there was like a developer change, like in staff. But I don't quite remember what my longest time was. I think I quit like 2 or 3 times because I was just fed up with the game itself. I think the longest time though,
the game or the people?
I think it was. Let me think. No, it was definitely like 75%. It was the game, because it got more and more stale, and every weekend turned out to be a chore if we just kept losing. And 25% was like definitely because of the changes that happened to the game because of the change in development. I think the longest time I went away for was when security was still in charge, and he, like, I was trying to main Scout, and he was messing around with all classes at that time, and when he touched Scout, I was just so fucking pissed about every single change that he has done to the game that I just went berserk and just quit Empires for like, maybe, what was it? Half a year? Maybe it's a year?
Maybe I need to send him a gift basket actually.
Oh
for
God!
That I appreciate.
Just because he changed Scout?
Not just because of that. I was just kind of getting tired playing Empires all the time. It really gets to you when you like try to keep up with all the research and the gameplay stuff that people use.
Do you think that's because you were younger and you wouldn't have that now, or do you think you would still have it now if you're like trying really hard to be like good at one thing and you'd quit? Because I think like I would have that more when I was younger. I'd be like, oh, I really want to get good, and then it changed. But now, when you're a bit older, I think it's better or not really.
That's a difficult question. I think if you keep playing a game seriously and try to be the best at all times, it'll burn you out eventually if you're younger. But the more you mature, the more you understand that you want to use your time more efficiently, like not go for Empires 24/7, like maybe ZM does. I don't know if he's up all night
He's
thinking
listening.
about
Shh, shh. Don't get banned, dude. Don't get banned. We still need to play.
I'm just saying
Probably
that's an
writing
example.
into Force fans right now.
Yeah,
Okay, so this is then maybe a discussion about playing Empires when you're older versus young. Do you think Empires is more enjoyable now because everyone's a bit older, or do you think it was better when you were young and everything was like new and exciting?
I think Empires was more exciting when I was like new to the game because there were so many things you could learn and like all these kinds of strategies that you didn't know about, like 9 mining and I don't know, squad hiding to the commander vehicle to kill him with sticky bombs or what else, I don't know. Those things, if you didn't know about them and you tried to use the strategies yourself, like the first time, those times were amazing because you got like all kinds of excited and it was amazing.
The adrenaline pump when you do it is insane, right?
Like, those times when you try to solo ninja some commander by yourself and it doesn't go off because you fucked up like one grenade or something?
Yeah, the sudden death and you're
That kind
tapping
of
it like on
adrenaline?
1 second. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think, LAWLIET and Senor?
About the game?
No, about like playing the game when you were younger and compared to now when you're older. What was better, or is it because the game is matured now with mature audience?
The game's
or
a lot more stable now. There's a lot less dumb bugs. Especially that vehicle syncing that was insane.
There were so many ridiculous things in the past that just aren't a thing anymore, like F command vehicle or G's with turbo in the old NF Rax model, which was a giant rectangular box.
Yeah.
So you'd be like playing Dust Storm, and then the enemy team would get a Jeep out, and then they'd get the Jeep on top of your racks, and there was literally nothing you could do about it.
Yeah.
I have this fond memory of this is the first ninja I ever witnessed. I was in Spectator, and this was back in the day when you had clans that used to purposely go on either alt Steam account or they change their name on Steam, and then they would join a server and stack the same team. And it's this canyon match, and C Patton's commanding NF. I don't know who's commanding BE, but it's clearly unbalanced, and like NF's clearly gonna win. And I just see this guy Moshav run around as Gren with mines, and he's clearly a squad leader or something. He's just running around canyon, somehow sneaks through as like a BE Gren. 9 mines C Patton CV, and then squadries him to death. It's just like ever since I witnessed that, I wanted to be like Moshav. And you just can't do that anymore. You just can't get away with that because some dumb stuff with mines going off, even though CV's not active, or it's kind of impossible with unlimited turrets and stuff.
I still remember that as well. Like being able to like maybe like you needed 4 or 5 mines placed right behind the NFCV. You walk back like 50 meters and you shoot pistol 1 on the back, and then you just flip the CV.
Yep.
And then you just see the guy exit, and they're just panicking all around. That
was nice.
It's also before like squad already would like push CVs and stuff.
Yeah.
And like the drop where it drops from is actually very close to the CV, so you kind of kill him instantly. It's actually really convenient. Or instead of squad already dropping from the skybox and you have to wait for a second.
Yeah, true.
You guys remember that time when EMP2 Islands was being played a lot frequently, and
God.
every other time there was this one guy trying to go across the map, trying to ninja the enemy commander.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you'd have the guy in the water like, oh boy, I'm going to do it.
Sometimes it did work though. That's the crazy thing about it. But now we have like Octane just fucking everyone's fun.
No,
Yes.
no. I'm not going to insult Octane. I actually respect Octane. I wish I had an Octane back in the day.
Well, I just thought that wasn't actually very fun for anybody except the person that did the sneak rush. You know, like everybody's just playing the game, and then suddenly one guy who just spent 15 minutes in the water ends the game. Like, what's up with that?
I mean, you have to give it to them. Like doing that is, I don't know. I have respect for that shit. It's still what Trickster tries to do every game. I think now.
Dude, you know it's not going to work if Trickster's on the opposite team. Like, I'm going to stop him from doing anything.
You just piss him off by trying to stop his ninjas.
But
Like, the best part is like enhanced senses, and you drive by in a tank and you see him obviously, and you honk your horn, and put your spray down and stuff. Just tease him.
Yeah.
he's so dedicated with it though, like because he'll prone across the entire like mid bridge map, which takes a solid like 10 minutes. They're just like, why are you doing this?
I mean, that's his
Okay.
only shtick, isn't it?
But in general, the game's a lot more stable now. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of the settings on specific servers, or a lot of the lack of. At least I feel there's like a lack of obviousness, or like there's a very deep learning curve where there really shouldn't be, or at least we should have eliminated the learning curve by now for some stuff.
All right, let's go to the next off-topic question. That's even more off-topic, I think. It's mine, and just about COVID, a bit a general question. How COVID has disrupted your life, and what the upsides are about the COVID situation that you've been having now in your countries. I think that one of the biggest upsides was just having a lot of time to not go to social stuff that you really didn't want to go to or felt pressured to go, and having a lot of time to yourself is just really, really nice, I think. COVID hasn't been, I mean, besides people dying and shit, COVID hasn't been too bad, honestly.
Okay, I mean, opposite perspective from me, who usually spent most of my time by myself, except when I was doing social events I actually wanted to go to. It sucks. No upsides.
No, what? If you spend a lot of time alone, like COVID is okay, no? Or
No, because I don't have the options anymore. I have my freedom taken away.
okay. So what's the biggest downside then for you?
I mean, the biggest downsides for me is I used to do weekly like board game events, and
Nerd.
like shut up. And I every day is the same. I go to work, I go to sleep, I wake up and I go to work, and then I go to sleep, and then the weekend happens and I play Empires, and then the
Look.
weekend's over and then I go to work.
That monotony is absolutely killing me right now.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Do you work at home?
Yeah,
Okay.
which sucks.
I mean, if you
used
work
to- I
at
used to go
home,
to an office.
you're just like 24/7 at home, right?
Yeah.
That kind of sucks.
I miss the office a lot, which is ridiculous because everybody hated the office, but I didn't. It was fine.
I use the office to socialize. That's my social life.
Wait, does everyone here have work?
No,
Yeah.
I am unemployed. If you were hiring a data scientist or an analyst, please hire me. Thanks.
Okay. So Reznov, upsides, downsides? Maybe start with upsides, Reznov.
That's difficult as well. I don't know any upsides to this situation right now. Maybe I get to be more at home, but that's also a downside. But my biggest downside that I really dislike is having to wear, like, I'm an industrial electrician for machines, and I check on them and fix them. And since I like to wear glasses, and I have to wear masks in the production halls at the same time, it really just fucking annoys me that my glasses always what do you say to it?
Fog up,
Fog.
yeah.
Yeah, they always fog.
Dude,
up.
you have a really, really good solution for that. Like when I do surgery with my glasses, I have to wear it as well. You can just put on like tape on the top side of your mask, and then it just doesn't fog anymore.
Or you can use
Tape?
band-aids. Band-aids, actually.
Yeah, just like a small tape. Like we have this like paper tape almost. That's not that sticky, but you can just put on the top side of your mask, and then you don't get any fog at all anymore.
Because the goal is to keep your breath from going up into the glasses.
Yeah.
But like, I also have the same problem. I have to wear glasses, and mask and glasses is just a huge pain.
Yeah, that's the biggest downside to COVID for me right now. I hate it. Every time you
Mask and
fucking
glasses. I mean, that's kind of okay, right?
What?
I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
as
the
long as you don't
Band-Aid
get
thing
sick.
works. There's like a solution you can put on your glasses too that prevents it from fogging up. People who swim a lot with goggles use it. It's pretty. I have it for I had it for my old VR headset. It's actually not good for the lenses, at least on those because those are plastic or
But
something.
you can't really wear goggles and go outside. What?
What?
You
Yeah, you
wear
can,
like
dude.
goggles? What?
They sell goggles here. Like prescription goggles, they sell them in America. Those exist.
Really? People
Yeah.
wear them?
Yeah, people use them in
Jesus.
labs too.
I mean, yeah, okay, I get it in labs, but if you're just like walking around, you're just not gonna
Dude,
Why
wear
wouldn't
goggles.
you?
there's a in like 7th grade when I went on a field trip. There was a kid with prescription goggles or some shit.
Yeah,
They were
because
like
he hadn't earned his ninja band yet.
Yeah, this is when Naruto really took off. That summer, Naruto really took off.
And Reznov, are there any upsides about it? Because you only went for the downside instantly.
Like I said, I can't think of any upside right now.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, like you're the only one that's positive about this whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think you're the
What's
the
wrong
odd
with
man out.
you?
What's wrong with you?
But
You
not
psychopath.
that much has changed for me because I still go to the office. I still see a lot of people either way.
You pretty much have to go to the office because of your profession, though.
Yeah.
You
So
don't have a
that's
choice.
okay.
right?
I just
You can't work from home.
no.
I
That's
mean, you
fine. I
could.
just can't
you
do like big
depending on what you
events
do.
and like just go out with a lot of friends at the same time. But I don't know.
So Paradox, a lot of the people in the chat saying they quit Empires for Dota. Didn't you do that at some point?
Not really. I didn't quit Empires for Dota. I just quit Empires, and then I was also playing Dota at the same time, and I was like, okay, I don't want to play Empires anymore because I don't know. You just get like sometimes you just become like a really bad person from Empires. I feel like you just become like angry and shit. I don't know. At least I was, and it was just not good. And Dota was much better in the sense that I was playing with friends that weren't cunts.
I'm sorry. I'm pretty
Um,
sure Dota made you a dick.
Yeah.
What?
I'll call you out right now on that. Dota made
What?
everyone in Empires a dick.
That's true. 100%
Dota
true.
is like so fucking toxic. Every time I see someone play Dota, they just rage on and on.
Like, I'm pretty sure the reason I quit Empires was to play Dota, and then when I played Dota with the Epic people, it became so bad that I didn't want to
Dude.
be in the clan.
Honestly, the Epic people were kind of fucking dicks when playing Dota, but
Ooh.
that's it.
Oh,
I think
no.
a lot of people were okay. Like I played with good friends that weren't cunts, so it was quite fun.
I'm just gonna lump you in that same batch, honestly.
Dude, you just publicly called Epic players all toxic.
No, there's very specific ones, and I won't call them out, but you know who you are.
We just Smitty, we just started talking about Dota and Corona, just like off topic, like 5 minutes. Okay, so did we talk about LAWLIET? Did you give your upside and downsides?
No. Okay, so COVID. My life didn't change at all. I was already staying home because I don't have a car. Because I got into a car accident before I got into grad school. So then I had to compromise on what grad school I go to. So I couldn't commute because I don't have a car. So I went to online school instead. But honestly, I thought there wasn't really a downside because I'm young and stuff. Staying at home, I didn't really gain weight at all. I didn't lose weight. And then actually right after, at least when I graduated last March, there is a huge downside, at least from what I can see with jobs. At least in my area, New Jersey is a pretty terrible area to live for getting like a data scientist job unless you have experience or you're very lucky and you have connections.
So it's pretty much just like the work issue you have,
My
right?
job market, I think, has been ruined, and the timing couldn't be worse. And I actually wanted to stay in school 1 quarter longer, so I would have graduated in June, but I was advised not to. And
Okay.
honestly, I shouldn't have listened to people. Like, you really shouldn't listen to people if you want to make a decision on, like, staying in school.
That kind of sucks, like finishing school and just being like with no
Oh,
job.
yeah, I can't get a job. I literally applied. Some people respond, some employers don't respond. I mean that's like the cycle in America, at least from what I understand. You'll sometimes get responses, sometimes you won't. But I think it's just the timing is bad for me, like extremely bad. At least getting out of school.
Don't you expect it to be like better, like maybe after this summer when COVID is pretty much dumped
Uh,
down?
I would expect it to improve, yes. Especially because at least now I'm technically still on cycle, because a lot of undergrads are applying to the same jobs I'm applying to.
Yeah.
So at least there's going to be low job availability in general. But like off cycle, I bet there's going to be more jobs, like summerish. It's very frustrating. I think from my perspective, because I could have changed the timing of everything and just graduated in June. Maybe COVID would have been better. Maybe there would have been jobs. And I'm getting people who reach out to me about my old profession, which was working help desk, and I don't ever want to work help desk ever again in my life. So trying to change careers is extremely hard for me. Let's do some chat questions, actually.
Yeah, we can do chat questions. I mean, I think Zaya put out a chat question, but it was up above. I don't know where it
Guys,
is anymore.
I
I still have a
Type
lot
any
of chat
question.
questions from.
Here's
Myanmar.
Zym's question. Would you ever have a squad with 2 engineers, 1 grin, and 1 scout, plus a rifleman? Or would you rather have 2 engineers, 2 riflemen, 1 grin?
That's specific.
I mean, in the
Second one.
early portions of the game, I would have the first one without the scout, and then later I'd have the scout for sticky stuns, I think.
I would go the opposite. I'd have scout early game, unless it's a very closed map. Like I would have scout early game and then rifleman or mostly grins later game. Like I wouldn't use a scout late game.
It depends if you have like a Reznov or like a Joy or like
Also,
a
it
Uzi,
depends
the
if they have
Scout's fine.
bioengine.
Oh, that's true. That's actually really true with bioengine.
Yeah, the second slowest engine in the game. Actually, Ace might be advanced coolant might be slow.
No, not because of the slow. It's because you can't sticky bomb them anymore. Or sticky bomb.
Yeah,
Stun.
you
They can
take
just drive
concussions
away.
instead.
What?
Do you guys
You
take
wanna conquer
seismics
vehicle?
as riflemen at the beginning?
No, never. Explosives, I think.
I think seismics could be mainstream at some point in time.
But how much damage does an explosive do to buildings in comparison to seismic? Like, is it half or like 1/4?
Let's
Or
say
even less?
1/4 theoretically, because we don't know.
Yeah, I think
I can answer
1/4.
that question if you just give me a minute. I'll come back to you.
It's fine.
Oh, he's gonna read the wiki or something. It's gonna be outdated.
Nerd.
No, it's not the wiki. It's Simon's spreadsheets. Yeah, he has all this information out there.
It's on Google Docs, dude. I'm not gonna read it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll read it for you, and then I'll tell everybody.
Why would you take seismics for riflemen though? Since your job is to kill people.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't get that either.
Then why do we have seismics for riflemen then? Why is it an option?
Because it's an option.
I don't know. No idea.
All I'm saying is if you're aiming to kill buildings and you're on NF,
Maybe like if you APC rush and you want to play rifleman, you get out, you throw your seismics, and you play rifleman when you're APC rushing a base. That's the only thing I would do. I think.
So the explosive grenade from the rifleman is half the damage of the seismic to a building.
Oof.
I mean,
Oh.
half is really a lot, right? Half is a lot.
yeah, no, it's pretty good though, because at least you have a chance of it splashing on infantry and you get kills or you do kill assists. So you actually get more points then. At least from
Yeah.
what I've seen in my stats, kill assists, I actually don't know exactly how they work, but there's 2 types of kill assists. There's like the normal kill assist, and then there's critical kill assist.
Dude, we don't know shit about these mechanics. We're like a bunch of noobs talking about empires.
Dude, I can't even explain the difference between
Look,
these.
I play by the
understand
field, not the stats. You know,
Yeah. We're intuitive players. We're not quants.
We're not in the league or anything.
Okay, I've got a good question here from Mayama, because he has been talking about this a lot, but I disagree so badly with him that this is a playstyle that gets used. So do you like or dislike the stumbling over your own corpses playstyle that squads have right now? Like 4 NGs crawling forward by prioritizing revive above all else, and most kills come from revive members that start shooting in prone stance. Do you see this? I don't ever see this happening, actually.
I mean, I think there's something to be said about how valuable proning is and how accuracy changes when you go crouch to prone, or you go prone immediately. If you look at the accuracy indicator, I actually have mine disabled, so I don't actually know how accuracy changes if I go prone.
It's a lot. It's a lot. But if you go prone, you just fucking die because people shoot you in the face.
Isn't that stupid though? Why would you stay prone if a grenadier can easily just one-shot you again if
Yeah.
you get revived?
I think it's pretty, at least from what I've seen on my stats, the team that revives more usually is the one losing and getting killed a lot. So you can have, like, I don't know, someone has like 60% of the revives in the game, the other team has 40% of the revives. And the team that has 60 is the one that loses, usually.
I don't know. I think the question is more along the lines of the impression that revive is too powerful, in terms of like you'd rather revive your good players than try to shoot yourself.
I think you should
Wait,
shoot.
wait, no, that's not the question at all. I think now you're misreading the question. The question is the playstyle of just constantly reviving and just crawling forward to take ground.
No, I
Like
think it's stupid.
No.
crawling forward by prioritizing revive above all else. Like,
It's really
I don't
dumb.
know.
No,
I think
is
it's
it
really dumb
fun?
and it doesn't happen at all.
It does happen, definitely.
Really?
Yeah, of course. You see people push forward with walls and engineers.
Yeah,
That's
but that's
when
not
it
like 4
happens.
NGs reviving. Or is it? Mostly it's just like 1 NG spamming the walls.
It's
feel
one
like.
or two riflemen pushing forward, them dying in the front line, then the engineer behind you goes forward and places a wall in front of the corpse and then revives him.
Yeah, no bullet shot.
Yeah, maybe. I don't see that often happening, or I don't pay attention to it.
I don't know if it's fun though. Maybe not for the engineer, maybe for riflemen.
I think you got to make a choice. Do you want to go for the kill and, you know, hope you get the revive off, or do you want to revive and someone's clearly going to get 2 kills because they have a mortar and they clearly have a good shot? It depends on the distance, I think. So if I have SMG2, I'm going to go for the kill. If I have SMG1, I don't ever feel confident with that weapon.
SMG1 is okay for headshots if you aim for it.
If it's close up, I still don't feel confident with SMG1 ever.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's something about the weapon that just bothers me.
But SMG1 is basically my primary weapon in the entire game. Like I hardly use anything else.
SMG2 is really fucking good when you're playing combat engineer.
SMG.
If you're like, I think combat engineers are really underrated because people don't know how to play them that well. But SMG2 combat engineer, you place walls, push, and revive is really good. If you have like a rifleman and NG pushing up aggressively, I don't think you can play better as an engineer than that.
Do you know that SMG2 is more accurate prone than SMG1?
Yeah, I burst it like crazy.
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah, I burst it as well. It's crazy good. I'm not sure if it's more accurate, but it's really accurate.
I actually,
the first
watched
shot
one
is
of
more
Ziam's.
accurate.
I watched one of the Ziam's VODs, and the way he bursts SMG2 is so beautiful. It's like, oh, dude, I don't know if he's using a config or something, but like, I want that.
Yeah, but what's the point for SMG1 now? Like, SMG1, if you know how to use the SMG2, you don't need the SMG1 anymore.
I mean, at medium range, SMG1 is pretty good. SMG2 is not that good at medium range, I feel like. If you're going short range, SMG2 is good, and then short to medium. But like when you're at the medium range, I think SMG1 is better because you can click faster and be accurate.
I'd have to pour over the stats, but
You and
I
your
don't really see
fucking
that many
stats.
kills. Yeah, my fucking
Would you
stats,
have
dude.
like stats about like damage done, accuracy, range on SMG2
No,
compared
not
to
the range.
SMG1? That'd be
Just
crazy
the
if you
kills
had
in
that.
general.
Okay.
Like you see that shotgun doesn't get that many kills. A shotgun is so situational right now. It's like you have to be really close.
Like EMP King City close.
Yeah, like yeah. Is it a city or is it like a? What is it really? Because I know we're gonna argue if it's a city or not.
It's not.
Shipping deck or like some port.
I don't think it's the range necessarily. The problem with the shotgun is the spread, because the spread it seems to be random. I could be,
I mean, yeah, the spread is random, but like it's just I don't ever see you using shotgun on like a map like Duststorm.
Why would you?
I can definitely get kills with shotgun, but I would have to be so close.
The only time I ever use shotgun in any situation like that on an open map is to go inside a barracks, sab it, and then kill the people that spawn.
You're a dirty person. I hope you know.
I know.
Dude,
Okay.
you know, like you're actually such a smart player because you know which direction people are facing when they spawn in the racks. Like even I don't know that.
Look, if you do it
Dude,
several
is there a
times, you
way
will
to
know
know it?
sometime. Yeah,
How do
there's
you
a way.
know what side?
You just need to know where you're standing in the barracks. There is always a spot where the player usually spawns if it's not blocked. And that's where they usually spawn, and they always face the same direction.
Dude, what face? Like, I'm in a BE racks right now. What face do you spawn at? Is it against the double walls, or towards the rack?
If you imagine the barracks, there is this crate in the middle, like where this secret corner is in the barracks. That's where I
It's
stand
facing
and
that way?
look toward. No, that's where you stand and you face towards the other exit,
Yeah.
the further
Okay.
away exit.
Jesus, that's really good to know, actually.
But
And
you
then
know,
the
Now I'm
racks?
just gonna get spawn camped.
I've been on the receiving end of that so many times. I know exactly where he's talking about.
it's kind of
actually really smart to
difficult to
spawn camp.
describe.
I respect you if you spawn a camp because that's where you can make up.
The thing is, if
tickets.
players know how to avoid the spawn camping, because you don't get damage for the first 2 seconds if you do not fire. If you do fire, you're fucked.
Yeah, you just turn around and you don't fire and shoot you in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as soon as you move, right, doesn't it go away or?
No,
Spawn
it's
protection.
only if you shoot or wait 2 seconds.
Oh, no way. What would you suggest to a player? Would you just hold your spawn if you keep being spawn camped? Because I've seen some people just hold their spawn. And try
Oh,
to
that's
time it
simple.
well.
You spawn grenadier, you turn around and shoot the mortar.
Yeah, but that's not for an average player. It's not gonna work.
Well, your average player is probably gonna die every time.
I mean, melee upgrade's no longer in the game, so you can't get away with meleeing someone. I think I would take health upgrade if I were NG. Like, let's say I only have one skill to take, I would take health upgrade and just try to kill you, or try to go rifleman because you get armor or something.
If you abuse the fact that you have spawn protection, then it's really simple to kill the guy that's kill spawning. Yeah.
Let's finish up the really in-depth pro spawn camping discussion.
Hey, dude, more people should do it. I really do think so.
Let's have some viewer questions on Twitch if there's more questions. I don't know if I didn't see anything pass
My
by.
chat
Or
is
I haven't been
usually
paying attention.
You have not been paying attention. What is the
At all,
purpose
yeah.
of the heavy carbine? That's the latest one.
For the rifle, BE rifle, or
No, the engineer weapon. I'm pretty sure, right?
no, there's no function at all.
Okay.
I mean, that's literally my answer. I never play SMG3. It's a shit.
You know, actually, my Alma brought up a good point about support engineers and shotgun. I actually totally agree with that. If you're playing like pure support engineer, because it kind of prevents like those dumb riflemen from trying to poke around your seawalls or something, where you can just kill them instantly.
Wait, what was the question?
His what he was saying was shotgun is great if you play pure support engineer, unless you focus on doing revives and walls and kill people when they try to charge the corpses and stop you from reviving.
I totally agree with that. Yeah.
I mean, I agree, but if you don't have anyone else doing long range stuff, you're probably not gonna survive for long.
There you go. 32-bit guy asked, "What is the purpose of the heavy carbine?" I assume that's the second BE rifle, right? Not the heavy one. Not heavy rifle, but like the other one, the one that goes
The
burst.
carbine? Oh, the assault rifle.
Yeah, the terrible rifle that we don't want to talk about and should be removed from the game.
We don't wanna try to blame Trickster or anything right now.
I don't even think it's Trickster's fault. I actually have no clue what's wrong with that weapon.
No, we're talking about the SMG3, by the way. We're not talking about BE carbine.
Yeah.
Oh.
Heavy carbine should be SMG3.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Did he say NF or BE? Anything?
NF, and that's the only one.
We need to know. Are you talking about NF? What are you talking about?
What carbine?
NF SMG3. NF
Oh,
SMG3.
just
Okay,
remove it from the
okay,
game. It's not
okay.
even used, dude. No one uses it.
It's really bad.
I'm gonna prove you wrong. Here I go.
Are you gonna look at my stats and see the one person who has like 2 kills with it?
SMG3 is essentially a really bad close quarter and a really bad middle distance weapon. It's only good for sniping if you know how to use prone aiming.
I mean, it's really good for sniping if you prone and you hit a headshot every time, twice in a row, and then it's good. Otherwise, it's just really
if a
trash.
weapon only relies on the prone stance, you just don't use it.
I love how Predators call you out on your MMR.
Yeah, fuck him,
Dude,
fuck you.
I love that guy. I actually heard about like some like pro streamers, streamer or whatever on Dota. You know, it's just like, oh, that's Predator. Interesting.
All right. Do we have more viewer questions? Because I still have like a few on Maima. His,
So wait. Do we agree that we need to remove SMG3 from the game?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
totally. Needs to go.
Or
needs to be
rework it.
Maybe let's do the last question because it's almost 9, or we've been talking like an hour
5
and a half.
minutes left.
I think this one is good. Is a good one. Is there a good squad setup with one engineer possible?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go around. Let's start with Senor.
Engineer must be lead, and the rest of the squad should be, I mean, any of the other classes, but primarily Grin and Rifleman. Like, I think that definitely works, but it doesn't work unless the engineer is the squad lead.
And you have squad points.
I mean,
And you're in a vehicle.
I don't think you have to be in a vehicle.
Yeah, I've seen situations where like it's one NG lead who's doing all the vehicle repairs, and it's your 4 squad mates who happen to be in vehicles.
But you still have to be close to your Grens, otherwise you can't revive them.
They're not gonna. I mean, they're in vehicles. I'll
Oh,
squad
it's
revive them.
okay. You're talking about vehicles then, but like
a situational where one NG is good, I guess.
yeah, I think it's doable if you're mid game. You have like an engineer and a light tank and 4 Grens, and you have points so you can squad drive when they push up and die. But otherwise, it's just really difficult because 4 Grens, 1 NG is really offensively strong, but your engineer dies and your push is over and you lose all the ground you took.
I don't think your push is over. It's just you don't have much support, so you can't really do much, like push up.
Yeah. Reznov, what do you think?
Well, it depends. Are we only talking about infantry combat or in combination with vehicles, like your squad mates?
You can do the both. You can do the both. But I think it's more infantry because otherwise, like late game, it doesn't matter. Like 1 NG squad lead is fine.
I mean, it makes sense if you want to be like 1 engineer and like 4 grenadier or whatever force you want to have in your squad. If you're trying to defend the position, because otherwise pushing is not going to be possible with just 1 engineer. If the 1 engineer dies, your entire squad is just dead.
Yeah, exactly. I think the answer is just like context based.
I mean, any
Like
question
everything.
about squad composition is context based.
Yeah.
There is no.
But like this
correct
one
answer.
more than others, right? Because you can always have 2 engineers and 3 offensive and be good. But 1 engineer is just really, really situational, I think.
I think from now on, if anyone has a question, we should probably define a situation. Otherwise, the fucking answers are just gonna be so diverse.
Yeah. All right. I think we can wrap up unless someone in chat still has another question, but I don't think so. We've got 17 viewers though. Jesus.
How do you feel about the fact that there's no melee upgrade in the game?
I think that's a real big shame. It's kind of shitty for spawn camping, but melee upgrade should be allowed.
I think no melee upgrade is the best thing to happen to Empires in the last like 6 years. And that's including the crash with the vehicles falling through the map. I hate you guys.
Okay.
Yeah, if I had to pick one, I think I'd be okay with vehicles crashing through the map if I had my melee upgrade.
God
back.
bless me.
Really?
Yeah, I'd actually be okay with it.
Okay. Maybe last question. What should we do for like the next team? Because we've done squad play now. Engineer was quite kind of. We did a really bad podcast about engineering, which wasn't a podcast at all. But
I think the LKIP has a question. We can answer it. Will you marry me, Senor? Senor, are you gay?
Absolutely.
Okay, he's clearly gay. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being gay, anyways, guys. It's pretty normal.
Okay. What team should we do next time?
I actually would like to talk about solo play because this is becoming more relevant, at least from what I've seen. Like I've seen Zion completely win games playing solo. I've seen me try to win games just in a Jeep as scout, winning, just turning the tide of the game with a stupid Jeep. It's like some stupid solo play stuff would actually be interesting.
We can do solo play stuff.
And I think Octay
it's a good contrast from squad play to solo play.
Yeah, we can have Octay as a guest.
Yeah, sure. Octay wanted to be a guest actually. He PM'd me, but LAWLIET took his spot. What a cunt.
Oh, we didn't answer Octay's question. Which playstyles are
we
going
didn't
to
answer
bring?
a lot of questions actually.
Are there so many? Damn.
which playstyles can you give examples of playstyles? Because that's kind of hard to answer.
The asshole APC rusher, I have radar stealth, blah 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 blah. You get the idea.
I think the most annoying thing to play against, but also what creates a lot of fun, is maybe LT being a cunt and just APC rushing everything.
I would say APC spam is the most annoying to play against. 100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
How do you counter against it? Let's say, how do you counter against it?
Mines.
Okay, but you have ground defusal, right?
Let's say you have grand diffusal. That means you somehow
Let's say your
coordinated
driver is
someone to
LT and he doesn't have grand diffusal.
You spawned with grand diffusal. That's a law.
I think yeah, Senor?
I think the counter is actually just responding to the rushes until they're petered out, because if they don't go hard enough on the rush, like you have to respond in measure. If they go full in on the rush, then you just respond to it and deal with it, and then their team's not anywhere on the map.
But you don't know if it's gonna be full tilt or not.
No. The commander has to tell you how many people are in that APC because
Yes.
you can scan it.
Yeah, sure. That's
Like
true.
I do that all
Really?
the time. Yeah,
can tell how many
Yeah,
people
you
are
can drag
inside?
it. You can drag it.
You drag the A, click over it, and you can tell how many people are inside.
Oh,
You
that's
can tell if
nice.
it's a full APC or like a one-person APC.
Yep.
I think something that doesn't come up often enough, because commanders are just not actually that good. I think a lot of comms have so much to improve. Is you tell every squad they have to like assign one person to always kill spawn when the comm asks for it, instead of commander having to designate a squad. Because if you, like, let's say you just tell alpha to always kill spawn, you're gonna lose alpha position every single time. When if you designate one person every squad to kill spawn when you tell them to, I think that's a good preventative measure. So you always have like a good response, and even if 4 people kill spawn to main base and it's like not a big deal at all, those 4 people can get a tank and move to the front lines at every position with a fresh tank. But commanders need to think about that, to have like a lot of preventative backup plans, but that just doesn't happen that often.
Yeah, but just one guy driving around with an APC, just one guy out of like 32 players, messing up the enemy commander is enough to cause enough distraction for the, like, I don't know, maybe like the north position to lose their position for like a few minutes and then the enemy squad moving in.
Yeah, you pretty much that. One APC driver is like a very big focal point. That doesn't get enough clout, I guess, or credit for winning the game.
He's a threat if he's there. He's a threat if he's there and everyone spawns inside.
Yeah, I think the problem I have with LT, or at least from what I've seen with his APC stuff, he doesn't really prime people to spawn. He'll call them last minute or like last second.
Yeah,
Whereas-
it's last second. It's a lot of time last second.
Yeah, I would prefer the APC driver have a mic, and you need to prepare people to spawn.
The thing is,
not like-
either LT wins the game for you by rushing, or he completely loses because he's like 3k down on APC rushes. But having like 4 people kill spawn every time against LT is fine, because you don't lose resources. You just lose 4 tickets, and you might win 2 by killing the APC or whatever. But it's worth it because you can get new vehicles on the front line. Because otherwise, people just don't go back for a vehicle.
Let's wrap up. I want to go play Empires.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
getting late.
We can wrap up. Thank you for listening, everyone. I'm just gonna keep streaming and play Chat Squad if anyone wants to keep watching or whatever. I think we can do new podcasts maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, and then we'll invite some new guests. Senor, awesome outro music, please.
I don't know. I got nothing. Good luck.
Okay, bye.
Later.
Right?
Okay, we
That
stopped
was the
recording.
podcast.